Hello and welcome to Winchester Now. I'm Mary Blacksland. On this week's programme, what's the future for the empty River Park Leisure Centre? We hear about the Winchester charity helping new mums in Africa. And I put on my walking boots for a trek round Barton Meadow. Find out why.
Winchester Radio.
It's a controversial subject. What should happen to the empty River Park Leisure Centre? The City Council plans to transfer the building to Southampton University, who want to expand their Winchester School of Art campus. It's a move that's been met with some opposition. Now the university has held a consultation to ask the public for their views on the old building. In a moment we'll hear from the university, but first this is what some of those who went along would like to see.
I'd love it to be completely community focused. I'd love to see a Lido there, but there'd be enough space to have the Lido, as well as a large community centre that could also be used as an exhibition space for, very well-known stand-up comedians and bands and things like that. And then there's a million other things that Winchester needs that land could be used for.
I'd like to see that the land is preserved for some of our youngsters from here in Winchester, such as the tennis courts, and that they're free to go and play on those open spaces like they have done since it all began.
And the building itself?
I think it's probably a done deal, behind a lot of residents' backs, but as long as it's attractive.
I'd like to see it turned back to the people as it should be. It was given to us in 1909. Council don't have any right to do it. They don't have any right to buy it. This shouldn't even be happening.
Well, I spoke to Wendy Appleby, who's Vice President Operations at the University of Southampton, about their plans.
We've got big plans for our estate and our School of Art in Winchester. We've been here for over 150 years and we're now thinking, what next? And it felt like a really important thing to get some early inputs from the local residents and from people of Winchester to hear what they think and to get their ideas as well.
And what are your plans for the old River Park Leisure Centre?
At the moment, we've got a 5-year period of time that we've agreed with the City Council to come up with proposals and business plans for the disused leisure centre. It's such an early stage and we've also need to focus on our existing campus. We haven't got any further than that in terms of our thinking. And again, the event today where we're asking local people to input and to give us their ideas and their thoughts will be really helpful in shaping all of that.
Local people are obviously very worried. They've been using that open space for so long. What guarantees can you give that that green area will remain?
I think there has been some confusion between the disused leisure centre site, which is the site that we've been in discussion with the City Council about, and the park that is adjacent to our School of Art. I just would really like to reiterate that we've got no plans whatsoever to build on the parkland and the park that's adjacent to us. The disused leisure centre is a different site and not part of the park. I should just add, because there has been discussion in the past that the skateboard area is again not part of the plans. There's a very clear requirement that we don't build on that, we don't make plans about that, so it's absolutely there for the public of Winchester to enjoy.
You can understand though why people got a bit concerned, a bit angry maybe, that it seemed to be just a done deal that you were handed this leisure centre.
I don't think it is a done deal, and of course the leisure centre needs a future, and that's in the hands of the City Council, who we've been talking to. If we look at opportunities around education, that can only bring benefits to the city of Winchester, and I would hope the city would be very proud of anything we do, particularly given our long history here.
And would it be something that the city can also use as well? It wouldn't just be for the college?
I mean, as I said, we're at a really early stage, and part of the exercise today is to really understand what people want from the university, from the Winchester School of Art, from our buildings and premises. It's not unusual to have university buildings that have areas where the public can access what you're doing, can use some of those spaces, can actually come in and see what we're up to and what we're doing, and that's very much in our thinking both for this part of the campus, our existing buildings, and potentially for anything we might do in the future. One thing I should say, though, is that, of course, you can't just open everything up, because you do need to protect valuable assets, and also you have to protect safety. And we've got certain things like our looms for weaving that you couldn't just walk into a loom room. You have to be properly trained, and we have to sort of maintain safety. But certainly we're looking at things that we can enable the public to connect with us a lot more, and that is very much part of why we're doing a listening event, so that we can hear what the public actually want to see us doing.
And you're saying this is a 5-year project, so we're going to have to look at that derelict building for another 5 years perhaps, or will things happen faster than that?
The listening event is about our whole campus and our existing campus that we have, because we have a number of buildings here in the centre of Winchester which also needs some love and attention to really turn the School of Art into something we can all be proud of. In terms of the River Park, we've got a 5-year window in which to come up with plans. We will be looking at the business case around that particular opportunity, but we will be doing that in the round, and we don't want to be rushed into that, and again we want to hear what the local population have to say about that.
Southampton University say they'll now consider the views made by the public before drawing up plans, and of course we'll keep you up to date on that story here on Winchester Radio. Now, with more information on potential developments around Winchester and other stories making the news this week, here's Steve.
Plans for a regeneration of Winchester city centre have moved a step closer, with the City Council agreeing to appoint a development partner. The plans include redeveloping the area around the bus station, Friarsgate and King's Walk. It follows the collapse of the Silver Hill project and more than 20 years of debate. A planning application could be submitted next year, with building work starting in 2025. Nearly 3,500 people have made comments on Winchester's local plan, a document that proposes future development sites for housing and employment in the city centre and beyond. Council officers will analyse the comments to decide if changes to the plan should be made as a result. The consultation took place at the end of last year and involved several drop-in sessions in towns and villages across the district. Hampshire Police are taking part in a national campaign aimed at raising awareness of the dangers of using a mobile phone behind the wheel. Extra patrols and safety checks are taking place to stop drivers using their phone whilst driving. Police say it puts their lives and the lives of other motorists at risk. Drivers face a £200 fine and 6 points on their licence for a one-time offence, and a lengthy ban and £1,000 fine for those caught twice. Meanwhile, a new team has been launched, dedicated to reducing and preventing crime in Winchester city centre. The city centre neighbourhood policing team consists of 2 police constables, 2 police community support officers and a special constable. They will provide a more visible presence and regular patrols with the aim of tackling antisocial behaviour, business crime and assisting the nighttime economy. The Chief Medical Officer for England, Professor Chris Whitty, has visited the Royal Hampshire County Hospital. He heard about work in the hospital from the emergency department to virtual wards. He also toured the Winchester Hospice and was told about the difference it is making to the community. Finally, congratulations to Tower House Horses in Micheldever, who have been awarded a grant from the National Lottery Community Fund of £95,000 over the next 3 years. Since it launched in 2011, the charity has helped more than 1,000 adults and young people, using horses to provide therapy and well-being programs for those moving on from domestic abuse or addiction or facing anxiety and depression.
Winchester Radio.
A Winchester woman has just returned from visiting some of the slums in Kenya to see the work of a charity she set up more than a decade ago. Lullaby Africa has helped thousands of women build bonds with their children. This weekend, the charity hosts a quiz to raise funds to help build on their work. Here's founder Helen Howes.
Lullaby Africa is a little charity that works with mothers mainly in extreme poverty in Africa who've lost the ability to bond with their babies, probably through trauma or depression or just extreme poverty, but they don't know the very simple things that are instinctive to all of us.
And what made you want to set it up?
I think just understanding how important it is. I was a play therapist, and I understand that if a child doesn't have a secure attachment to somebody, then that child does really badly in life. I went to Africa and I saw that many mothers had got no idea of how just to love their babies and how to stimulate them.
And you've just come back from a trip over there. Tell me what it was like.
Well, it was really exciting because we first started in 2011 and we haven't been back for 3.5 years. And the way we work is we work with little groups and we set up leaders, and we weren't sure what had gone on. But in fact, the work has grown. These women who are of the slums have been teaching other women and making new groups and making new leaders. So it's really, really exciting. It's fantastic.
It must be very rewarding to you to see the difference that the charity's made in those 10 or so years.
Yes, it's been fantastic. It's just great seeing mothers with confident children who are playing, children who are doing what they should be doing, and the mothers also empowered to teach other women.
And tell me a bit about the quiz that's happening this weekend.
It's a quiz hosted by Philip Tutt-Leppard, and it's New Life Church, and it's obviously a fundraiser. £10, 7 till 10 o'clock. Details are on our website. Come enjoy the quiz, and we have lots of lovely homemade desserts. And come and have a lovely evening.
And how important is that fundraising? What does that money go towards? How is it used?
That money will go towards sponsoring more local workers to go and teach in the slums. We've got one young woman already who we've sponsored and who's wanting to go and teach other women where she lives, and we would like to do this more.
And how many mothers would you say you've helped in the time that you've been going?
Hundreds and hundreds. There are over 40 leaders in Kenya. We've also got a base in Uganda, and we're hoping to start in Rwanda. But we've taught hundreds, possibly thousands of women.
And what does the charity mean to you personally?
It's just very fulfilling to be doing something terribly simple. I don't know, I just felt it was something I could do, and I should be doing something to help. So it's very fulfilling to share simple things and to see that they make a difference.
And it sounds like you're planning to grow it for the future as well.
Definitely we want to grow, because there are millions more mothers who don't know the simple things that most of us in the UK know and take for granted, and it makes a difference.
And if you would like more information about the charity or would like to join Saturday's quiz, visit the website lullabyafrica.org. Now for some special mentions for other people who go above and beyond to help others. Here's Paul.
And it's time for our community shout-outs. We start with a big shout-out to the team at the Cauldron Common Community Centre, who welcomed about 20 local organisations and clubs to their Be the One Who Makes a Difference volunteer event at the weekend. Groups running in stalls included the Scouts and Guides, the Twinning Association, Community Speed Watch, the Neighbourhood Watch, the Gardening Club and Action for Village Youth. Special birthday greetings to the Royal Logistics Corps, who held an event at their museum at Worthy Down last week to launch their 30th anniversary celebrations. More events are planned throughout the year. The RLC has been deployed in many conflict zones, including the Balkans in the 1990s, Iraq and Afghanistan, and more recently provided support to the UK government during the COVID pandemic. Thanks have been given to everyone who's taking part in aluminium recycling across Winchester. Collection bins are in place across the area. The bins are emptied each month by volunteers to generate money for the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Air Ambulance. Last month, more than £1,100 was raised. And it was a fun and entertaining night last Saturday as 14 acts took to the stage and performed as part of Highcliffe's Got Talent, which was held at the All Saints Church on Petersfield Road. Performances included juggling, dancing, magic and singing. The winners were Zach and Martha from King's School, who sang the Jacksons 5, I Want You Back.
Winchester Radio.
Now, walking is not only good for fitness but also mental well-being, which is why a number of health walks take place around the Winchester district. The latest one to be set up is in Weeke, and I put on my walking boots to join the group and learn more about the benefits. We set off from Weeke Community Centre heading towards Barton Meadow. It's a chance to meet new people and explore more of our wonderful surroundings. There are 12 of us, and I chat first to Sylvia and Mary, who've already walked from St Cross to join us. You're both very keen walkers, aren't you?
We're very keen walkers, every day.
Yeah, different walks, anything from 6 to 8.5 miles. We go to Compton and
across the golf course, and then really just round the States and to get our mileage in, don't we?
Yeah, get the mileage in every day.
Always stop for a coffee, bring water with us. We've got everything in our rucksacks, what you need.
And what do you love about walking?
Well, we love looking at people's gardens and all the birds.
We like the fresh air, and it's the only way of really getting good exercise rather than sitting watching television all day. We like to just keep fit. We're both 77-year-old, so we're hoping to keep going for the next 20 years or whatever. Yeah. It's just good for you. We love it.
Yeah.
What's brought you along today?
A nice walk, meeting people that a lot of whom we've seen before. We used to do walks with the council. We do regular walks on our own anyway, so getting out is excellent.
It's special because you get to know the people as well as getting outside and some exercise. It encourages you to get outside once a week.
And how much walking do you do? Are you a keen walker?
Now, it's actually the lockdown, when you couldn't do a lot, encouraged it. So we made sure we had a walk every day, and it's just a habit now that we've continued.
Kitty, and why do you come and do these walks?
To meet up with friends, for the exercise. Just love walking and just catching up, really. Just getting out of your house, and I think it stops loneliness as well if you live alone.
And do you find you always feel better after you've had a walk like this?
Absolutely, yes. Especially in this time of year. It's just lovely because no weather seems to stop us. We go out regularly anyway to walk with friends, but just lovely.
And it's great that there are organised walks like this.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Totally, yes. Because I've only lived here 5 years, and I think when I came here, because I didn't know anybody, and I think it was one thing that was brilliant, is that I joined the health walks and met some amazing people who are my good friends today.
There are 6 health walks across the Winchester area, including in the city centre, Colden Common and Bishop's Waltham. 166 walkers are registered to the scheme, but anyone can go along. Deborah Dunnett leads our walk, which has been growing in numbers since starting at the end of last year. She plans and risk assesses each walk and points out notes of interest along the way, including deer and red kites. Walking does make a difference, doesn't it, to your well-being?
Oh yes, definitely. Gives you a focus, takes you somewhere else, sets you up for the day. You meet people, you see environments that you might not have seen before. You see the wildlife, the flowers, and it just makes you feel good.
And everyone's chatting away. There's something special.
Yes.
It's like a community, isn't it, walking together?
Yes, definitely. Especially people that might live in the village that, don't know each other. So it's a great way to make friends. Just to socialise without any pressures.
And this group has really grown, hasn't it, since you started it at the end of last year?
Yes, we just gradually have started to get more established with advertising in the local area. Last month we had half a dozen people joining us, and we've got new walkers again today. So yes, we might increase the walk to more than once a month.
Winchester Health Walks first began in 2008, but were brought to a stop by the pandemic. They're now run by Community First in partnership with the City Council. The walk in Weeke takes place on the last Tuesday of the month at 10:30 a.m. But you can find more information online. Just search Winchester Health Walks. Our walk lasts around an hour and a half, but others vary in length, and afterwards some go for coffee. Well, that's all for today. Don't forget you can email us any news, stories or shout-outs at news@winchester.radio. Goodbye until next week.